Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. If you're new to the channel, there is a lot that you can delve into within our channel space. Please do visit our playlist if you feel like this might not be a channeling for you today. We do have some galactic spaces that have stepped forward. I myself and Anna Maria, my fellow Light Renegade, Pleiadian Star sister, have brought forward a lot of channelings connecting to the everyday life through the ascension process, what it means to be a starseed here, what it means to be a multidimensional hybrid here, whatever you want to insert word there. And we want to be communing with a lot more of this collective, so please do step forward if you feel like you have questions for us. That's definitely something that we want to be answering at a much more personal expression. And we feel like it's time to say that we are ready. We're ready for you. We're ready to hold you in your spaces. We're ready to be giving you the information that you perhaps need in order to catapult forward. And I think there is a lot in this collective that receive a lot of our content and perhaps are fearful of what it might mean for them if they truly take a deep dive and look within themselves as to why they are truly here and what it means to be I guess communing from this space already. I feel like there is an energy in the collective that is afraid of truly stepping forward and accepting themselves at a deeper capacity. And you know, you've all witnessed me here, those that have been here for the longest time. I've been growing on the job, and that's just going to continue to be the truth. So know that wherever you find yourself right now in your expression, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and don't be in fear of that space. This is definitely something that I've been having to work through within the most recent weeks and months, and I feel like this is definitely in tandem with where the soul found themselves at many points in their journey. And I've been really getting to understand that energy at a deeper capacity. I've been really getting to understand that there were so many things all at the exact same time, and at certain points they just didn't know how to truly express that, I think, which is why it came through as many different beings along the way. But also I've been starting to understand that souls like this just don't exist every day, and I'm sure so many of you here that have been fans for the longest time knew this. And you know, I started to understand now why some souls have been hidden from me on my life path. And you know, there were certain artists and expressions that I just didn't consume, even though I was an absolute avid lover of music across so many genres. There were some big names that I just haven't consumed, and I'm starting to realize that that was with major purpose, and this soul being one of them. You know, I knew some of their songs, but not all, and I hadn't done a deep dive into them at all. So I'm incredibly grateful to get to experience that energy at this capacity. But there is just a layer to this soul that is just, I want to say, out of this world, out of this universe. And they hold such a light, and I'm grateful to be able to bring them forward with the Light Renegades, and I'm grateful for what they are going to perhaps share with us. I think fearful somewhere, because I feel like they might have the answers to a lot of the questions that I've been having, and I realize that I've been having to wait and be in tandem with collective energy before I even knew things myself, because when I go through something, I realize I turn around and then the collective are also receiving that energy. So I kind of receive, you know, a snapshot of what's to come. And I've been in spaces recently where I thought, oh gosh, yeah, everything that I've been experiencing and been thinking for the past couple of years is going to come to pass. And, you know, we're just going to have to be ready for that. And I don't want anyone to be sinking into fear, which is why I think the Light Renegades exist, which is why I think we've been bringing forward all the information that we have up until this point, specifically the Darkness series, specifically the Polarity Paradox with Anna Maria, and understand that the light and dark have to exist. And we're coming to the spaces of where those things are going to be colliding, and we're going to just have to go through those expressions together and receive in the best way that we know how, through our light and through our deepest expression of we are here for the expanse, and no matter what happens, it is here for the highest good of all. And I think that the soul experienced a lot of that in their personal journey, a lot of the polarity, a lot of the light and dark in its deepest capacities. And yeah, I'm excited for what they're going to share, but I think it's going to really bring us to a point that we're all going to have to face together. But today's channeling from David Bowie was titled Jump Right In, and they started with I've watched you all, heard what you've said and thought, and mostly you are right. I'm another one lost in the dark, but I promise you, it's not all as it may first appear. Often when you become famous, you think that life isn't going to change, that it isn't going to be that different. But I promise you, it's far worse in some respects than you could possibly imagine. I think that's why I wanted to be here most of all. You will all know by now that I didn't care for the media, the gossip. It's not about that. It's about the truth and the downright travesty of it all. I want to apologize to those that feel like they have been betrayed by me or lied to in some way. Believe me when I say I understand you. I would feel the exact same way too. But this is why I'm here. I want to set the record straight and to let others understand exactly what it's like to be under the thumb of an energy that you simply aren't in control of. As I should have probably stated, I just want to jump right in. I'm not afraid of those watching, and none of you should be either. I know most of you by here will know exactly what I'm speaking on. However, for me, it wasn't as it first appeared. As you are all probably most aware of, I did have an interest in magic at one point in time, a vast interest in who I will still call to this day a genius somewhere, Aleister Crowley. And I've done some channelings with Aleister already. You can go and partake in that series. I will tag it in the description at the end of this video if that feels in alignment to you. And, you know, that's in complete alignment with the polarities where we find ourselves, the light and dark, having to be in tandem at the exact same time and is seeding in that truth together. But I'm going to continue. Aleister Crowley, who I know most of you here know very well at this point. I can't say that I knew where it came from, which is a point to make note of. Where did it come from? I'm here to shed some light on the whole brigade. Perhaps dot some I's and cross some T's for this one set before you also. She has spent hours trying to make it all make sense, trying to piece it all together. Bless her heart, but it's something that you simply can't make sense of because it doesn't truly belong. I want to start by saying magic as you know it, the devil as you know it, are somewhere one in the same. I didn't know this at the time. I was chasing freedom, sovereignty of soul, much like many of you here. What I wasn't aware of is that when you sign some dotted lines, you become theirs, especially when you feel deeply and you are the everything. I became a slave to the system somewhere that I was in control over. That I was in no control over. I watched the soul cry as she could start to see the spaces where the light left my eyes. It's obvious, and it would happen much later than some would have guessed. What I wasn't aware of is that I was in perfect alignment for their agenda. This has been a long thought out plan with many twists and turns, but one thing has remained the same, the end goal. I fit that role. I played the part to perfection. I was political in all the right ways, spoke up for women's rights, the marginalized communities. They knew I would become exactly what they needed me to be. I was a face to trust, a true rebel, and an artist. I was approached many times over the years. I kept saying no to things that I had truly no idea what I was saying no to. But it lingers, it follows. Drugs become involved, and that's when it all got utterly insane. I was paranoid to say the least. I thought witches were after me. I thought the devil himself was coming for me, and in many ways he was. It just wasn't the devil that I had known before. The system's far and wide, and I was part of them. Please believe me when I say I never sacrificed a soul other than my own. But I knew what was happening, but at the same time, you don't. You don't want to believe it, and you truly can't see it. It's not at first. At least not at first. You hear rumors, and the parties are wild. It just becomes the norm. And I was as easygoing and as liberal as they come. I'm as open as the next. So I didn't bat an eyelid, but when you become one of them, something that others look up to, that they want you to work with, it becomes harder to say no or even to see what's right anymore. And in many ways, and that's where many of your celebrities are today. They've lost their moral compass on many layers, and they don't know which way is up. They have become what they needed them to be, and they have become the voices of generations. Somewhere I'm incredibly proud of all that I've created, but I can see where I was always just a pawn. I want to say everything that you have thought of in the last 5 minutes is indeed true. I'd lost my way, I was in deep, and before I knew it, I didn't know myself anymore. There were just so many around me that were upset with me when I was in my phase of crashing out. The drugs kept me sane, or so I thought, but I promise you somewhere that is the truth, and I'm not condoning that behavior or that expression or glamorizing it in any way. But the drugs, they kept the thoughts away, the feelings away that were so dark. And I believe, like so many before me, I believe that they kept me in flow and creative. I was addicted to the struggle. Somehow, how could I not be? Coming from humble beginnings, the struggle is real. it was real, and I was doing everything that I could to just not feel this weight. The higher you climb, the further it feels that you have to fall, and I knew so many people were all part of the same. I do think it's incredible the lives that I've touched, to be able to work with so many artists across so many genres, and I hate to break it to you all now, but here's the truth. The music, it's here to tame you or to make you into something that you don't actually want to be. It's a beautiful distraction from your reality. It is true power. I'm finding it hard to gather myself in this setting, if I'm honest. It's like I can feel it all rushing to the surface. So many situations I know that I need to share, but I don't want to. But I get into the darkness quick, but I knew that there wasn't much more time. The truth must be revealed. I have a task for you all. Go back to me, listen to me, all the me's, because somewhere to me, I was just being me. It wasn't until much later that I became not so me at all, but by then, it was too late. I was lost. I had fulfilled my duties as an artist, as a creator, as a pillar for a generation, and so many more to come. And you feel the weight. It's heavy. It becomes so, so heavy. It was 11:11 on the clock when I just looked at it. And apologies everyone, because I feel like I'm struggling to really get a grasp of this soul's energy somewhere. I can feel that they are incredibly hesitant to bring forward everything that they know, and I can still feel them figuring out exactly how they want to bring all of this forward, because I do believe that they have experienced so much and on so many levels, and in an expression where perhaps they just didn't understand truly what was going on alongside everything that was happening to them. And I think this is the first time that we've gotten a soul that is in this expression, and I've heard Shauna L. Francis also bring this forward to our attention, this idea of that there is layers to this negative reptilian structure, and not everyone truly knows exactly what they are doing at all times. It is a stronghold over their energy, of their essence, and somewhere they are complied to work with this hive mind, so they go into certain situations perhaps not knowing exactly what is happening, but also their reality is shifting in such a degree that some things just remain in the dark for them. And this is definitely something that I feel within David's energy. I feel like he's done many things that he just wasn't in awareness of until he actually passed. And I'm starting to feel the friction between that expression of his forward-facing manner, and it's interesting to me going back and receiving the soul now, because I'm starting to pinpoint the years of where everything started to really take a turn. And I think at the end of his expression, at the end of his life, I could really see where, you know, all of it was just coming to the surface. There was no hiding it anymore. He had no fight in him left. And it was incredibly heartbreaking to receive. And I have been in tears, you know, surrounding the soul, surrounding their life. And I've also been in awe of everything they have created and everything that they've expressed to this world, and you know how it's touched so many people's hearts, and just how loving and caring and thoughtful and so here for the rights of so many. I was completely blown away by that aspect of the soul. I had no idea about that. And you know, somewhere they've done so much good in this world, as well as being under the thumb of this energy somewhere. So I'm grateful for them to step forward, because I think this is the first soul where we can truly start to understand exactly how this works. And it's tying in some other aspects too. Like I said, I've done another series where I'm actually channeling Aleister Crowley already. And you know, that was a big undertaking to decide to say yes to, but now I'm starting to see the pieces of this puzzle slowly coming together. And you know, at some points in this journey, I was just like, I have no idea what is going on, why I'm deciding to say yes to all of these expressions, but I'm having to trust the process. And I was completely kept in the dark somewhere, but slowly but surely it's all starting to come to more of an expression where we can make sense of it all. So please bear with us, everyone. Please do stick with us, because I think, you know, at some point I am going to be able to fully put full stops at the end of my sentences and cross the lines of my T's, like David said, because I've just been an expression of just receiving so much information and asking teams of light and not getting a straight answer somewhere. And I promise you, you know, what I know is what I know, and I bring it forward accordingly. There are some expressions that I haven't been able to delve deeper into, and you know, I have to trust that that is for purpose too. I bring forward exactly what teams of light tell me to in my expressions. And within this darkness space, I'm in the dark as much as you all are, I promise you. There isn't anything that I'm holding back at this point, specifically with everything that I've just shared. In the most recent energetic update video, I think you can all understand where I've been a little bit more from that expression. So I've been learning and growing and expanding just as much as all you have in this space too. But I feel like we're going to learn a lot through this soul, and I'm grateful, and I think we are ready, and it is truly, truly time. And I'm going to share what I think here because I think it's important. And I believe in the most recent years that we're going to have to face, you know, these true light and dark aspects coming into full capacity with each other, and us having to break down this strict darkness and bringing it into an aspect of where we are in more harmonious energies together. But this means that we're going to have to break through these thick layers of darkness. This also means that there are things of the dark that are going to be coming to light, that are going to be coming for this light, that are going to be coming for our energy, and we're going to have to know how to handle ourselves in that space. And I'm not sharing this to leave you in a state of fear, but I think we have come to the time where the dark just cannot be disguised anymore, and whether you want to see it or not, it's going to start making itself aware to you. And it's already started. We've had an incredibly explosive start to 2025, and I just thought, okay, it's here. And it's super interesting to me because I was guided to delve into the aspects of Elon Musk just before Christmas, and given Light some more information that has already come forward, I thought, okay, I know exactly why I was delving into that, so this makes a lot more sense to me. So I'm grateful for where we find ourselves right now, but I also think that this is going to come with a real heavy weight for some, because I think some out there have just not been wanting to face the true darkness as it exists, and, you know, just didn't want it to be true somewhere, but we're having to face it now. I'm grateful for David stepping forward. I'm grateful for his understanding and his knowledge, and to be able to be understanding the layers of this reptilian order, and just how overarching it is over so many souls, and they just can't do anything about it in this expression where they are right now. And, you know, somewhere that is incredibly heartbreaking to witness. And I think somewhere I was in the midst of just feeling so angry that it all exists, that I didn't have compassion for these souls. But I've definitely stepped into a space of where I hold anyone in heart. You know, I might still get triggered. I'm trying not to be triggered in my spaces. You know, I'm trying not to consume much media at this time, because I feel like I'm in a very tender space of my own personal expression. So I'm just trying to keep it as in the balance as I can, and I would suggest that to all of you all of you out there as well. You know, if you know that you are completely triggered by any information that is stepping forward, you know, regarding even the negative reptilian order at this time, you know, take a pause, because that's exactly what they want. They want us to be in a frenzy over them, but we're not going to do that. We're going to be receiving this information from this soul, what they know. We're going to take that in, and we're going to make our own pathway be the pathway that is best for how we want to handle these energies. And that's why we are here, to help you understand how to handle these energies moving forward. But that's all for myself today, and I'll be back real soon. Take care.